Okay, it's a video for the Moondrop Golden Ages 1979. It's about $80 planar set of wireless IMs. And if you're a commenter below, if you're a subscriber to my channel and you comment below, you qualify to get this. I have sent out all of the winners. A lot of winners have got a lot of gear worth lots of money, and everybody's got this stuff except one guy. I can't remember the set, but he's in the US, and it's a girl's name that's signing off, and very polite to my wife, so thank you very much. That goes a long way, believe me, since she's the one that goes to the post office. Yours will be sent out this week, and I'm all set for Patreons with the big money stuff goes out. Now let's get into the review. Music is everything here. I'm listening to Ice Cube right now. You're looking at Aerosmith, some classic rock and roll. You see the posters all around. This is all about music. This is my Aspie autistic structured pattern, please don't interrupt me stuff. And it's important for you because you can cite exact specific moments and instruments, or a Roland deck is an instrument, so you can cite and see it exactly. Violent Femmes that I'll talk about today is the bass guitars, and it's a 20-second interlude semi-solo that happens from 219 to 239. Who needs that level? Some people do, actually, and I'm giving it to you. So if you need to know, go back and take a look at that, because that's just what I'm referring to. Now let's talk about the tuning. Let's start in the bass. Also, I've got a ghetto scale up above. It should already be up there. I will refer to that at the end of this video, and we'll go ahead and rank it on the ghetto scale. Starting with the bass, Kill Jill. Triple drop with some sampling of bass guitar. I thought that it sounded decent in the reference, and it sounded not good in the bass head, which is something that I'm going to talk about at the end. 4-string bass guitar, I thought sounded okay in reference. Again, the track I just mentioned, which is Violent Femmes, the pulls, the releases, and the snappiness and the ringing of the string sounded normal to me. What I consider to be normal for my personal preferences. The bottom kick drum sounded good in reference, and it did not sound good at all in bass head. This was puzzling me enough to send out a mail to Mark for the first time in a while and say, is this accurate? Like, because my ears and your graph are, something doesn't make sense. So that I'm kind of tipping my hat what this is going to be at the end of the video. The mids. So the bass, I would say, is okay in reference, but in bass head it's really not. In the mids, we're talking about vocals mostly, because it's if your mids are, if you got too much mid bass, if you got an abrupt ear gain, your vocals are going to step out right away. And a lot of people have vocals in the library, if not most of their library. Chris Cornell doing Sinead O'Connor doing Prince. Nothing Compares to You, I thought sounded good. It sounded clean. Again, this is a planar, and it sounds like that sometimes. The Lane Staley Rooster, the Rooster, which I loved the original. I thought that the MTV Unplugged was even better. I thought that sounded good. The Nina Simone, I think is her name, doing Heart of Glass by Blondie was the best of the replays. I'm not really sure why, but it sounded good. As we get into the upper mids and the treble, cymbals, which are mini abrupt explosions in the upper mids, the stick hits at around 530 to 630, as we checked on a spectrogram. But the energy that you're hearing mostly is occurring in the upper mids and treble. I think it sounds good with Hey Hey What Can I Do by Led Zeppelin. I thought they sounded natural, what I'm expecting it to be, not overly. Milliseconds too much, your ear picks it up, and you can call it tizzy, or there's a lot of different ways to describe that. Overly energetic, existing too long. Then it can sound like the drummer's reaching out and muting it, because there's an abrupt fall off and there's really no harmonics, really. This sounded normal. The Love Lies Bleeding, Funeral for a Friend, which actually starts with Funeral for a Friend and builds up with keyboards and a lot of stuff going on, and then explodes into Love Lies Bleeding, sounded the best on this of all the tracks that I listened to. I thought it sounded good. Hendrix and his distortion pedals, I thought sounded good. A lot of stuff that was released, unfortunately, just for the family to make money, was really poor quality, but there's some good stuff out there, and I listened to that, and I didn't seem to be, I thought the treble was the best part of this. Now let's get to my problem. This is here are the 3 settings that you can get. The reference, which references, that depends on what you're referring to, so let's Not getting into that too much. Monitor. Monitor is implying that you could monitor with this because there's not too much coloration anywhere. There's not overly emphasized trebles. There's not overly emphasized bass. It's a monitor. That makes sense. And then there's bass head, which implies an enormous amount of bass. So we're on reference right now. Now I'm going to click it. I want you to pay attention to right here, which is the mid bass. We're talking about 300 hertz to 80 hertz pretty much, which is this area right here. I'm going to click into bass head and watch this bass get sucked out. The only difference is there's a little bit of boost in an area where there's very rarely actually information, and the part that would definitely impact the bass guitar, according to my ears, according to Hobby Talk, who is a bassist and a drummer, you simply can't pull that out like that without impacting some instruments. Definitely the bass guitar and the drum kit, and because of my library, that's important to me. So the bass head is not a bass head. It's more of a reference or neutral. It's certainly not pushing bass up on anything that I listen to, whether it's Big Boy Killjoy, which is hip-hop, whether it's Violent Femmes of the bass guitar, or it's the kick drum from Led Zeppelin. None of those things sound more there when I'm in bass head than in reference, which is bizarre. I'm not angry, but it's bizarre labeling, maybe, or a mistake. I don't know. Now let's go ahead and refer to the ghetto scale. It's not a dumpster fire. The naming is a dumpster fire of the tunings. Hope it was free. No. Coping is working. I'm doing some of that. Competes with its peers. The edifier right there, which is my favorite, I think it's like $30 more, but that is peer range as far as financials go. I'd buy it. I wouldn't. So I'd say coping is working. Most everything in my top 10, which is over $5,000, is the same thing. It's just a different type. It's rationalization. But I would say coping is working because it's semi-cheap and it's the way it's put together, but that's because of its cost. You're going to get that. And the tuning labeling is lazy or trolling. I'm not really sure what that is. I've known Moondrop for a long time. They're not the biggest fans of me. And I know they wouldn't do something like that. Who cares about me? But I was thinking, are they trolling me? Like that came. What is it like to be a person that thinks that the universe revolves around them? Watch me sometimes, because I literally thought for a few seconds, Moondrop's trolling me. There's no way that they'd make that mistake. But I know that's not the case. I'm just messing with you. But I did feel like that for just a few seconds. So you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. And I'm out. Don't forget to comment to maybe get that. And I'm out.